Stars burned bright that night, but none shone as fiercely as the blue glow coming from the ship's bridge. Captain James, exhausted and yet restless, stared at the blinking signal on the console. "It's calling me," she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible over the hum of the engines. Her heart pounded not from fear, not exactly, but from something deeper, something she could not name. She had seen alien transmissions before, many, but this was different. This was personal, alive, and somehow lonely. The first words came not through speakers, but straight into her mind. "Human, do not turn away. I have waited for you." Froze, gripping the edge of the console. "Okay," she said aloud, laughing nervously, because what else do you do when an alien queen just talks to your brain? "I'm not turning away. Are we okay with that?" She shook her head. The humor was hers, a shield against the strange fluttering in her chest. No one had ever told her that interstellar diplomacy could feel like a first crush. And yet here she was, alone in the cold of space, feeling something so unbearably tender. Her crew had begged her to leave it alone. "It's probably a trap, Captain," her second-in-command had warned. But curiosity was a stubborn, foolish flame, and maybe, just maybe, so was her heart. The voice came again, softer this time, almost like a sigh. "You are not afraid of me, human. You are rare." Slav came out sharper than intended. "Rare?" she asked, her voice echoing through the empty bridge. "I get that a lot." She pressed her palm to her chest, heart hammering. "But usually it's about my terrible taste in coffee or my obsession with cat memes, not you." There was a pause, then a sensation like warmth sliding through her veins, like the universe itself had folded her into its embrace. "You make me feel alive," the voice whispered, and for the first time in her life did not feel alone. The ship's sensors suddenly picked up a shimmer in the void, a living presence approaching. She didn't panic. How could she when the being ahead seemed to know her name? She pressed herself to the console, trying to stay professional. "All right," she said aloud. "This is officially the weirdest first date in history." A ripple passed through space, folding light into colors she had no words for. The alien queen appeared, not monstrous or threatening, but regal, luminous, as if she were a living constellation. Her eyes, vast and deep, locked onto, and the bridge filled with a sound that was not sound at all, a song felt in the bones. Swallowed hard. You're real," she breathed, and the queen's gaze softened, a curve of light that almost smiled. "I am as real as the stars," the queen said, "and I have chosen you." Blinked, caught somewhere between awe and terror and something dangerously close to longing. "Chosen me for what? Diplomacy? War? Space karaoke?" she joked, though her voice quivered. "For what you are willing to see and not turn away from," the queen replied. There was a beat, a silence that stretched through the vacuum yet felt alive with tension. Chest tightened. The truth was, she had never been good at ignoring the unknown. She had never run from what made her heart race. And right now, the universe was offering her a choice she didn't quite understand but couldn't refuse. "Okay," she said at last. "I'm not turning away." Her voice was small, but her heart was enormous. "Even if I have no idea what's about to happen." The queen's glow shifted, sending ripples across the bridge, brushing the walls, the consoles, even the ceiling with radiant blue. "Then come. Let me show you a world you have never imagined." Hesitated for just a second, just long enough for a nervous laugh to escape. "I hope you take humans seriously, though. We tend to trip over our own feet a lot." "I will take you seriously," the queen said. "And you may trip, but I will be there." It was not a promise. It was a vow. And it wrapped around's chest with a warmth that made her dizzy, made her laugh and shiver and cry all at once. As the ship hummed closer to the source of that impossible glow, felt the weight of every lonely night she had spent staring at the stars, searching for something like this. And now here it was, right before her, waiting, and she was ready to leap. Because some calls, no matter how alien, no matter how impossible, were not to be ignored. The moment the ship's hull kissed the shimmering veil of the queen's world, felt a shiver ripple through her body. The space outside wasn't empty anymore. It was alive. Colors she had no names for danced across the void like a living painting, and the stars themselves seemed to bend, bowing to the presence of the alien queen. His heart raced, partly in awe, partly in terror, and partly because she felt ridiculously exposed. "This is insane," she muttered, gripping the console. "I mean, who builds a galaxy like this for a first meeting?" "Insane?" The Queen's voice flowed directly into her mind again, soft and melodic, carrying a warmth that made his chest ache. "Perhaps, but not cruel. You will find my world reflects what I feel, and right now I feel hope." Swallowed, her hands trembling, and laughed nervously. "Hope, huh? That's cute. I like that. I hope I don't ruin it." "You cannot ruin what is meant to grow," the Queen replied. "But you may surprise me." Ship's sensors went wild as they passed through the iridescent veil. Gravity shifted, then normalized, blinked. The Queen's world was not a planet, not a star, not even what humans would recognize as a place. It was a living cathedral of light. Rivers of luminescent energy flowed like water, twisting around floating islands. Creatures she could not name, made of pure radiance, glided silently. The air, or whatever passed for it, tasted of memory, nostalgia, and something sweet she could not place. Laughed again, a nervous, joyous sound. "Okay, this is officially the coolest, weirdest vacation I've ever accidentally booked." "You are not on vacation," the Queen said, her voice soft, yet carrying an almost playful edge. "You are here to see what lies beyond fear, to see what happens when you refuse to turn away." Slav faltered, and a small lump formed in her throat. She had never been this far from Earth, this far from safety, this far from everything she knew, and yet she had never felt so alive. I don't know if I can do this," she admitted quietly. "You already have," the Queen said. "Every heartbeat that brought you here, every step into the unknown, you are brave, human, braver than you think." A bridge of light stretched before the ship, a path without walls, floors, or ceilings. The Queen's hand, if it could be called that, extended toward. It shimmered with every color in the universe, delicate yet impossibly strong. Us voice cracked in a mixture of awe and nerves. Do I hold it, shake it, Bo, I'm not great with glowing alien etiquette." "You do nothing but reach," the Queen said, her tone soft, patient. "I will take the rest." Hesitated for a heartbeat, then stretched her hand. The moment their hands touched, the world shifted. She felt herself drawn into the Queen's essence, not crushed, not threatened, but wrapped. Every fear, every lonely night, every secret longing she had ever held seemed to shimmer in her chest, mirrored in the Queen's eyes. She laughed, half in disbelief, half in joy. "Okay, that is officially the most romantic handshake in history." The Queen's voice carried a hint of amusement. "Perhaps we will redefine history together." The human tried to pull back, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of the moment. But the Queen's glow tightened gently, a promise rather than a restraint. It's a lot," admitted, her voice trembling. "I don't even know what I'm feeling." "Then feel it fully," the Queen said. "Do not hide, do not run. This is why I reached for you." A ripple of warmth passed through, like sunlight stretching into her bones. Her laugh returned, softer now, tinged with wonder and nervousness. "All right, I guess I'm in then. Lead the way, your Radiance Majesty." "Alien Queen will suffice," the voice said, and there was amusement in the depths of it, so human-like that it made stomach flutter. The bridge of light extended further, and with every step the world revealed more of its impossible beauty. Towering crystalline structures bent in impossible angles, while rivers of color pulsed with rhythm, almost like they were breathing. And through it all, the Queen's presence remained beside her, not ahead, not behind, but perfectly in step. Laughed again, softly this time, because the absurdity of the moment was too much. She, a human, was walking beside an alien queen through a world no one else could even imagine. And yet, she felt at home. "Do you trust me?" the Queen asked, the words threading into her mind with a gravity that made her heart tighten. "Didn't even think. I think I do," she whispered, "even if I trip over my own feet." "Then we begin," the Queen said, and for the first time felt like the universe itself was smiling at her. The first step into the unknown was terrifying, and yet somehow she had never wanted to take a step more. First steps on the bridge of light felt unreal, like she had been dreaming her whole life and only now remembered she could walk. The air, or whatever passed for air here, was heavy with warmth, yet impossibly clean. Every pulse of color beneath her feet seemed alive, flowing in rhythm with the Queen's own heartbeat. She glanced at the alien Queen, glowing softly beside her. The queen's eyes, infinite and deep, were fixed on her with a weight of expectation, curiosity, and something that made his chest ache with strange tenderness. "This is incredible," whispered, unable to keep the awe out of her voice. "I don't think any human could even begin to understand this world." "Few do," the queen said. "Most flee, most turn away. You did not. That is why you are here." Laughed a little bitterly, trying to hide the nerves curling in her stomach. "Or maybe I'm just stubborn, or maybe crazy, or maybe—" She paused, blinking at the shifting colors, maybe all of the above. The queen tilted her head, as if studying her for something deeper than appearance. "You may be all of those things, but you are also honest, and honesty is rare among your kind. That is why I trust you." The warmth of those words wrapped around like a blanket. She laughed softly, touched, but then froze as a shadow passed over the light beneath them. "Shadow?" she asked, her voice small. Her hand instinctively reached toward the queen. "Yes," the queen said, her voice steady but tinged with warning. "Not all that dwells here welcomes light. Even a world of beauty has darkness. And some shadows." The words trailed off, but the gravity in her voice left no doubt. The colors around them pulsed more urgently and could feel a tension like the air had thickened. Out of nowhere, a shape formed, a shifting mass of darkness, a void moving against the radiance. It twisted, coiling like smoke, yet massive and alive. Stomach sank. Her first instinct was to step back, to retreat. But then she remembered her promise not to turn away. I'm not running," she whispered. The queen's gaze softened in response. "Good," the queen said. "Courage is not the absence of fear, human. It is the willingness to face it anyway." The shadow surged closer and felt the cold brush of its presence, a hunger that seemed to scrape at her very being. She shivered. It wants to what? Eat me? Erase me?" "No," the queen said almost gently. "It tests. It remembers what is fragile, what is afraid. It does not understand light as you do." Swallowed hard, her pulse raced. "Then what do I do? Just stand here?" "Stand, breathe, and let me show you." With a motion more graceful than any human movement, the queen extended her hand toward the shadow. Light rippled from her, not forceful, not violent, but filled with warmth. The shadow recoiled as if confused, unsure, trying to resist but slowly bending, shifting, dissolving into the radiant river beneath them. Blinked, her mind struggling to comprehend what she had just witnessed. That was amazing and terrifying and beautiful. How are you so?" "I am who I am," the queen said simply. "And yet I am who you help me to be. You see me and you do not turn away. That changes everything." His lips trembled, not with fear now, but with emotion. I don't know what to say. I mean, I've never felt anything like this. Not with anyone, not ever." She laughed softly, a little embarrassed, feeling her cheeks warm. "And it's probably weird. I'm a human, you're cosmic royalty or whatever, and—" "You are not weak for feeling," the queen interrupted, her tone firm but gentle. "You are brave because you do. You are brave because you reach beyond what is safe." Blinked, her chest tightened, and her heart beat faster than it had in years. "You make it sound so simple," she whispered. "Because it is when truth guides you," the queen said. "Do not hide. Do not question what your heart feels. You may stumble, human, you may fear, but you will never falter if you do not turn away." The shadow dissolved completely, leaving only ripples of light. Took a shaky breath and looked at the queen, a sudden fierce admiration glowing in her eyes. I want to understand this. All of it, you, this world, me." "Then you will," the queen said, her glow intensifying, bathing them both in warmth and light. "But first you must trust me completely, and trust yourself." Nodded, her voice barely a whisper. I trust you." A soft chuckle, almost musical, echoed in her mind. "And I trust you, human. That is rare, that is precious, that may change everything." His chest tightened again, not with fear, but with something heavier. Anticipation, longing, the thrill of a connection that everything she had ever known. She looked into the queen's eyes, and in that infinite glow, she saw a reflection of herself she had never dared to imagine. Brave, daring, alive. And in that moment knew there was no turning back. Not from the world, not from the queen, not from herself. Had never felt anything like it. Every step deeper into the queen's world was like walking into a dream she didn't know she had been dreaming her entire life. Rivers of radiant energy flowed beneath floating islands, shimmering and twisting with impossible colors. Light danced in every direction, reflecting off crystalline towers that seemed to hum with life. And yet the beauty was not without weight. It carried a quiet, serious energy that made her chest ache in ways she couldn't name. "Everywhere I look, it's like," trailed off, laughing nervously, "like my brain might just explode from being this happy and terrified at the same time." "It is normal to feel overwhelmed," the Queen said, her voice soft but resonant in her mind. "This world is alive, and it is not used to visitors who see it and feel." Shivered, a thrill running down her spine. "Yeah, well, lucky you got me right. I've been feeling things my whole life. Mostly regrets, bad coffee choices, and embarrassing crushes. But hey, now it's cosmic-level feelings, so I guess I've leveled up." The Queen's glow shimmered gentle amusement in her eyes, or at least the closest thing to eyes she had that could recognize. "You have courage," the Queen said. "And humor, that is rare, even among your kind. You make the world easier to hold, brighter to see." Blushed, the heat spreading to her ears. "You're not so bad yourself, even for an alien queen." She laughed, awkwardly brushing her hands over her hair, suddenly aware of how small and fragile she felt beside this radiant being. The Queen extended her hand again, inviting to follow. "There is something you must see, something that will test what you feel and what you are willing to risk." Hesitated for only a heartbeat, then she nodded. "All right, lead the way, Majesty, Alien Queen Majesty, cosmic royalty, whatever works." "Alien Queen is sufficient," the voice replied, soft amusement threading through the words. They moved together across the bridge of light. The path narrowed, winding around floating crystalline towers, and the air thickened. Could feel the pulse of the world, strong and insistent. It was like walking inside the chest of a living being. Every heartbeat of the planet echoed in her bones. And then they reached the heart. It was a chamber unlike anything had imagined. Light and color twisted together, forming a massive, glowing orb that hovered above a crystalline pedestal. It pulsed, alive, breathing, and seemed to hum in a language she could feel in her chest. Her eyes widened. It's beautiful. I don't even have words for it." "It is the heart of my world," the Queen said, standing beside her. "It contains everything I am and everything this world can be. It is fragile and yet powerful, and it will reveal your truth to you if you are ready." Stomach tightened. "Reveal my truth? What if I'm not ready? What if I'm a mess?" "Then you will still learn," the Queen replied. "I am patient, but you must face it willingly. Do not hide." The orb pulsed brighter and felt herself drawn closer as if it were calling to her. She hesitated, then stepped forward, hand trembling. "Okay, here goes nothing." The moment she touched the light, visions filled her mind. She saw every lonely night she had spent staring at the stars, wishing for something she couldn't name. She saw the fear that had always held her back, the doubts, the missed chances, the love she had buried deep. And then she saw herself, standing here hand in hand with the Queen, refusing to turn away. Her heart soared and a tear slipped down her cheek. "Do you see?" the Queen's voice whispered, not in her mind this time, but in the air around her, wrapping her in warmth. "You are capable of more than you realize. You are stronger than your fears, and you are not alone." His voice trembled. I think I understand, or at least I feel it." She laughed softly, wiping her tears. "And it hurts, but it's good. I think I've been waiting for this all my life." The Queen reached for her and this time did not hesitate. Their hands met, glowing and warm. The orb pulsed once more, and the world around them seemed to exhale. I don't want this to end," whispered. "It will not," the Queen replied. "As long as you do not turn away, it will not." Laughed softly, a mix of relief and nervousness. "All right, deal. I'm staying, even if I trip, fall, or make a fool of myself." "You will not," the Queen said, "because you do not run from what matters, and what matters is you and this world and what we share." His chest tightened and a rush of warmth flooded her body. She looked at the Queen, and in that glow, in that infinite presence, she realized that this was more than awe, more than wonder. It was connection. It was love, and it terrified her and thrilled her all at once. For the first time in her life, felt entirely alive and entirely known. The moment stepped away from the glowing heart of the world, a strange chill ran through her bones. The light that had once wrapped around her like a warm embrace now seemed distant, almost hesitant, as if the world itself was testing her. She glanced at the queen, whose radiant glow had dimmed slightly, a soft pulse marking concern rather than fear. "Is everything okay?" asked, her voice hesitant. The word felt fragile, but the truth was, her heart thumped with an unfamiliar apprehension. She had glimpsed the deepest truths of this alien world, but understanding them did not make them any less heavy. "All is as it must be," the queen said softly, reaching for her hand. "But there are trials ahead, ones that will demand more than courage. They will demand trust, yours and mine." Squeezed her hand, feeling the warmth pulse through her fingertips. "Trust, huh? I think I can do that, as long as you don't disappear or start glowing in some terrifying way." She laughed nervously, but it trembled at the edges. "I will not disappear," the queen said, "but the world may challenge you. Shadows still linger, and not all things here are meant for human hearts." The path before them darkened slightly, though the world remained luminous. Shapes shifted in the distance, shadows that twisted and danced with hunger. Stomach knotted. "Shadows again?" she asked, half whispering. "You know I kind of hate shadows. They make my imagination run wild." "Then let imagination guide you," the queen replied, her voice a soothing balm against the tightening fear. "They will test you, but they will not break you if you do not break yourself first." Took a deep breath, letting the queen's warmth steady her. "All right, let's do this, together." "Together," the queen confirmed. And in that word felt a surge of power, something that made her chest thrum with the knowledge that she was not alone. Not here, not anywhere. The first shadow lunged, a serpentine mass of darkness coiling around a floating crystal tower. Froze, her instincts screaming to run, but the queen's hand tightened over hers. "Do not turn away," she whispered. Pulse spiked. Her mind raced through every instinct she had ever had, every moment of fear she had survived. And then, instead of fleeing, she stepped forward, raising her hand as if she could reach the darkness. The shadow recoiled, hissing like it recognized her courage. "You see," the queen said softly, "even fear bends to truth." Laughed nervously, her heart pounding. "Truth, sure, or maybe I'm just stubborn and terrified." The shadows swirled, coalescing into shapes that seemed almost alive, mocking her, whispering doubts. "You don't belong here. You are fragile. You are weak." His hands trembled and she felt tears prick her eyes. I might be," she admitted aloud. "But I'm not running, not from you, not from this, not from me." The queen's glow flared, enveloping the shadows in a warmth so pure that the darkness wavered, then dissolved. "You see, human, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act despite it. And love is no different." His chest tightened. Love. The word hung between them, fragile and immense. She had never dared to feel it so openly, not in a world so alive, so infinite, so impossibly alien. Yet here, with the queen's hand in hers, she realized that love was the bravest act of all. I think I'm starting to understand," whispered. "It's terrifying and beautiful, and I want it all even if it hurts." "Then you are ready," the queen said, a soft glow radiating through her form, brighter than ever. "Ready to see what comes next, ready to trust me and yourself, ready to be more than you thought you could be." Laughed softly, a mix of relief and wonder. "All right, more than I thought I could be? That sounds terrifying and awesome, and maybe a little romantic." "Yes," the queen said, her voice carrying warmth and humor. "Romantic, but not just that. You are brave, you are alive, and you are not alone." For the first time, let herself truly feel the weight of the moment, the beauty, the fear, the thrill. The shadows were gone, but she knew they would return. And she knew she would face them, because she was not alone. And she had refused to turn away. The deeper ventured into the queen's world, the more alive it felt. Every step seemed to hum with intention, every pulse of light a message she could almost understand. The bridges of radiant energy twisted and curved, forming corridors that felt infinite yet intimate, like they were designed for her alone. And beside her, the queen glowed, serene yet intense, guiding her without words, yet with every gesture speaking volumes. I feel like I could get lost here forever," admitted, her voice trembling with awe. "Not scared, just amazed, and maybe a little dizzy." "Then hold on to me," the queen said, her hand brushing against. You will never truly be lost while you are with me. Laughed softly, the sound bouncing across the luminous walls. I hope that includes when I trip over whatever this is. She gestured vaguely at the glowing floor beneath her feet. It does, the queen replied, amusement threading her voice. You may stumble, human, but you will not fall. They moved together until they reached a part of the world that felt different. The colors dimmed, shifting into muted hues that seemed almost sad. The air thickened, pressing against chest. Her steps slowed. This feels heavier, she said. Like the light is tired. You feel correctly, the queen said, her tone grave. This is the core beneath the glow. It holds the history, the pain, and the secrets of my people, and it tests those who walk here. Swallowed hard, a shiver running down her spine. Secrets, should I be worried? Not yet, the queen replied. But you must see them, human. You must face them as you face fear without turning away. Took a deep breath, her hand tightening around the queen's. All right, then let's do this. As they stepped forward, the floor beneath them shimmered, and visions began to appear. Scenes of past wars, lost civilizations, and memories of the queen's people flashed in waves of light. The beauty of the world had always been coupled with pain, and now saw the weight the queen carried. The loneliness, the responsibility, the endless burden of leadership across centuries. I didn't know, whispered, her chest tightening. Tears pricked her eyes as she glimpsed the depth of sorrow that shaped the queen's radiant presence. I mean, I knew it wasn't all fun and glowing rivers, but this is heavy. It is, the queen admitted, her glow dimming slightly. And it is mine to bear, but you are here, and that changes everything. You see me and you do not turn away. That is rare. That is precious. That is love. Blinked, caught off guard. Love, she echoed, her voice trembling. I think I am starting to feel it. Terrifying, amazing, overwhelming all at once. And yeah, love seems like the right word. Then let it grow, the queen said, a wave of warmth pulsing through's hand. Do not resist it. It will guide you as courage guides you, as honesty guides you. You must trust it as you trust me. His heart thumped loudly. Trust, okay, I can do that. I want to do that, even if I'm scared out of my mind. She laughed softly, brushing away a tear. I think fear and love are somehow partners in crime. The queen's glow brightened, enveloping them both in warmth and light. They are, she said, a note of amusement threading her tone. And that is why you are here. You see the truth, and yet you do not turn away. You are remarkable, human, and I— The words lingered, heavy with emotion. I choose you. Felt her chest tighten as the words sank in. Choose me, she whispered, stunned. I don't even know what to say. Then do not say anything, the queen replied softly. Simply feel, let yourself be here with me in this moment. Closed her eyes, breathing in the pulse of the world, the warmth of the queen's hand, the strange, infinite possibility that stretched before them. And for the first time, she let herself simply feel love, awe, courage, fear, joy, all entwined into something she had never known but always longed for. I think I get it, she whispered. I think I'm ready to face whatever comes, shadows, secrets, everything, because I'm not alone, not anymore. Exactly, the queen said, her glow intensifying until it seemed to fill the entire space. And together we will face it. Together, human, we are unstoppable. Laughed softly, the sound mingling with the light. Unstoppable, sounds like my kind of adventure, and maybe the start of something unforgettable. Stood at the edge of the glowing bridge, her heart pounding with a rhythm that seemed to match the pulse of the queen's world itself. The air, or whatever passed for air, was alive with color, light, and sound she could feel rather than hear. Every fiber of her being thrummed with awe, fear, and an overwhelming sense of wonder. And beside her, the queen shimmered, radiant and infinite, yet focused entirely on her. You are ready, the queen said softly, her voice threading through's mind, warm and steady. But the next step will require your heart fully, no hesitation, no turning back. Swallowed hard, her hands trembling. Next step, you mean leaving your world? Her voice cracked slightly, a mix of fear and anticipation. Or staying here forever, or I don't even know, I'm just a human, I stumble, I fall, I mess up. What if I fail? Then you will rise, the queen said, her glow intensifying, wrapping around like a protective cocoon. Because you do not run from truth, you do not turn away, that is why you were chosen. His chest tightened as the weight of the moment sank in. She had come so far through fear, shadows, and awe-inspiring beauty. She had glimpsed the queen's heart, the pain and the hope, and she had refused to turn away. She laughed softly, a mix of nerves and joy. I guess you're right. I didn't run, not once, even when I wanted to, even when I was scared out of my mind. Exactly, the queen replied. And that courage, that heart, is why I am offering you everything. My world, my trust, my love. Blinked, her stomach twisting in a storm of emotion. Love, she had never imagined it could feel this vast, this impossible, this infinite. And yet here it was, radiant, real, undeniable. Love, she whispered, her voice trembling. You really mean that? With every pulse of my being, the queen said. I choose you not because you are perfect, not because you are unafraid, but because you see me, because you do not turn away, and because I feel alive when you are near. Tears filled his eyes, blurring the radiant world around them. She laughed softly, a shaky, beautiful sound. I feel the same, terrifying, amazing, overwhelming, but true. I don't want to run either, not from you, not from this, not from us. The queen extended her hand, glowing brighter than ever, the bridge of light beneath them responding, shimmering with anticipation. Then take my hand, she said, and step into the future with me, fully, fearlessly, as one. Hesitated only for a heartbeat. Then, with a breath that felt like stepping into the stars themselves, she reached for the queen. The moment their hands met, a surge of warmth, light, and emotion flooded her. The world around them shimmered, the colors of the rivers and towers bending into a symphony of radiant brilliance. She laughed and cried at the same time, her heart racing so fast it felt like it could leap out of her chest. You have chosen wisely, the queen said, her voice wrapping around her like a melody. And together we are unstoppable. Felt herself lifted, not by force, but by the bond between them, the connection that transcended fear, species, and even the vastness of space. Shadows tried to creep along the edges, lingering memories of doubt and worry, but she felt no fear, because she was not alone. I love you, she whispered, barely believing the words herself. And I don't care what comes next, I'll face it with you. And I love you, human, the queen said, a brilliance of emotion pulsing in her form. For your heart, your courage, your refusal to turn away. The world around them seemed to exhale, rivers of light swirling, floating islands aligning, as if the universe itself celebrated their union. The bridge expanded infinitely, colors weaving into shapes that felt like laughter, joy, and life itself. Laughed, too, a sound of pure release as the queen drew her closer. And in that moment all fear, all hesitation, all doubt vanished. There was only light, only warmth, only the endless pulse of a love that worlds. Looked up at the queen, her eyes shining with tears and laughter. I never thought I could feel this alive, or this loved. Then feel it fully, the queen said, holding her gaze, holding her heart. Because this is only the beginning, and I will not let you turn away, not ever. Lips curved into a smile, radiant and genuine. Then I'll stay, I'll step into whatever comes with you. And together they did. Hands intertwined, hearts beating as one, glowing against the infinite colors of the alien world. The stars outside, the rivers of light, even the shadows, they all seemed to bow to their courage, their love, their refusal to turn away. For James, the human who had dared to face the impossible, the universe had opened its heart. And she had answered fully, fearlessly, and with love. In that glow, in that endless radiance, there was no turning back, only forward together.